Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a nice break. We're excited to continue on this conference. So Xtreme Fighting Championships, it trades on the OTC Pink sheets under the symbol DKMR, and now partnering with the Fox family of networks. It's the first publicly traded premier international mixed martial arts organization with offices throughout the United States and South America. Pleased to introduce Xtreme Fighting Championships longtime president, Myron Molotky. Welcome, Myron.
Well, thanks for having us on your platform, Anna. Great to be here.
Yeah, we're so excited to hear your presentation. So whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Well, fantastic. I appreciate that. And you know what? We're going to kick things off a little bit differently today. Our production team came up with a video that really explains different verticals throughout XFC and gives our viewers an opportunity to have an inside look. So we hope you enjoy the video. Let's kick it off with that, and then we'll get to the presentation right after.
And welcome to beautiful Sao Paulo, Brazil, to the Hedgie TV studios and to a new chapter in the XFC. This is XFC International #1, Meller versus French. Yes, we have an incredible featherweight main event, and we will kick off our men's lightweight and our women's flyweight tournaments on this event. I'm Cyrus Fees. You'll see me inside the hexagon on the microphone. You'll also hear me on commentary alongside Mr. Casey Oxenine. With that being said, let's knuckle up and throw down and get ready for our first fight of the evening. And here we go, getting things started here.
Marco's got the rear naked. This could be the end, and it is.
The XFC brand, XFC first of all was founded in 2006. Did a great job as a regional event. Based out of Florida, worked in Florida. Did a lot of really cool things, especially in the beginning. In fact, started the tryout system. So from 2006 to 2012, it was more of a regional event. 2012, we took it international. We planted our flag in Sao Paulo, Brazil, really the birthplace of MMA.
Time for talk is over. It's time to knuckle up and throw down in the XFC.
The XFC's back. 5 years in the making. We're so excited.
Welcome to Atlanta. Perfect for the fighters who come in with hope as the XFC returns.
Yeah, it all starts with the Young Guns. And the Young Guns are these kids who are amateurs right now, and they're working their way through the system. They're just getting started. They may be raw, but they have just unbelievable athleticism and the ability to continue to learn and improve their game. We wanted to make sure that we had access to the greatest fighters that no one ever heard of.
Watch this. Eyes closed. Didn't even see it coming. Did not even see it coming.
And I'm putting this division and I'm putting this tournament on notice right away.
Fighters know what to expect when they enter the hexagon. Same exact thing the fans are expecting as soon as the hexagon door closes.
Switches stance and Nash. That was a nasty shot. Oh, yes. Put it in the books.
We're rolling out the full arsenal tonight. Fireworks are going to be happening. We think we picked the right fighters. We're going to roll right into the co-main, the main event, Wiley veterans, and they're going to bring it right from the very beginning. This is what we do. We bring the violence into the hexagon. Outstanding night. I'm Myron Molotky, president of the XFC. Should I do some push-ups or something?
Cut.
Forgot what I was going to say.
The website.
The what? Who's in charge of this production team? I don't feel like it's flowing. What brings my eyes out? Seriously. What do you think?
I think we need to move to plan B.
Own your piece of the XFC. Get the official gear at shop.xfcmma.net.
Atlanta, Georgia! Welcome to XFC 43! We are back in the USA! We are back in business! And we are live!
We're rolling out the full arsenal tonight.
I'm ready to go, baby. Let's wear it.
Let's go. We love it. That's what we do.
The Young Guns is the future of MMA. The Young Guns is that next generation of champions.
Watch this. Eyes closed. Didn't even see it coming. Did not even see it coming.
Oh, right down the middle. Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to knuckle up and throw down. Look at the emotion. Big nasty Tom O'Connor. Switches stance and Nash. That was a nasty shot. Oh, yes. Put it in the books.
He's down. Delivering the hammers. Delivering the hammers. It's over.
XFC Young Guns, March 27th, Fire Lake Arena, Shawnee, Oklahoma.
World class.
That is tight. Done deal.
Passion.
That was awesome. That was brutal. That was crazy.
Violence.
Loading up. Uh-oh.
And
Well, I want to see more. Here we go.
a little of that too.
These are guys that do not get fazed by the bright lights.
This place has come alive.
Another and another.
Oh, look at that.
Watch XFC 24 hours a day on Xfc TV Fight World, now streaming on Roku and soon to be available on Pluto, Hulu, and Fire TV. Check your favorite streaming apps for availability or go to xfctv.com.
This place has come alive. Well, I want to see more. Here we go. He tags him with the right. Oh, that's it. Done. Deal.
Watch XFC 44 live on Fox Sports 2 and Fox Deportes, Friday, May 28th.
But when those bright lights and all this pressure is on me, this is when I feel like I compete best. 1 year from now, I see myself in the Xfc tournament competing with the best.
The record really doesn't mean anything to me. It's all about getting in the cage and leaving it in there.
They have been there and they have done that.
We will put the time in because we are serious about building this roster. We knew what we were looking for. That's what we're doing again here today. Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here.
Yes.
Keep working hard. Let's go.
A lot of these fighters that are out here are looking for a contract with Young Guns. We're hoping they're hungry, they show us something, and they're ready to bring it.
Enjoyed what you saw there with XFC. It touched on a little bit of everything from the beginning with XFC, a little bit of our grassroots strategy. We also touched on our business model, our merchandising, and many other opportunities, especially including XFC TV, which just was launched prior to our last event, Young Guns 1 on March 27th. So before I get into the presentation, one of the most frequently asked questions is, what separates XFC from everyone else that's out there? And what you have to understand about this space in combat sports, there's very few promotions that have a broadcast contract that's worth having. And you can name them on one hand, really. And XFC happens to be one of them. We're very excited about our partnership with the Fox family. Fox Deportes, very important to us, just based on, that Hispanic market, Spanish speaking, is so important in the world of combat sports. And we've landed it with what we consider the premier US-based Spanish-speaking broadcaster. And that also ties in Fox Sports 2, which, absolutely the top, no questions asked. If you had a wish list of where you could go, the very first one is going to be Fox Family. We're also involved with Fox Sports 1, FS1. They have the option to pick up XFC pending schedule. So we've really been fortunate, very excited to be part of the Fox family. The other question is, what separates us from the MMA standpoint? And from an MMA standpoint, we firmly believe, and having been founded in 2006 all the way through today, we believe that the greatest fighters have never been discovered yet. And our business model is about finding that next generation of champions. And that's what we're looking for. So to explain the XFC business model, we have our grassroots strategy, which is the Xfc Tryouts, very well attended. We have fighters ranging from, hey, I just won my first bar fight, all the way through, I fought for UFC on the biggest stage, previous to XFC, of course. But we have the tryouts where we really try to discover that next generation of champions. And we'll see everything from the younger kids that they may be raw, all the way to wily veterans that fit into another stage for XFC. So after the XFC tryouts, we have Xfc Young Guns. Xfc Young Guns, again, looking for that raw athleticism and violence. We're finding these kids at our tryouts that really fit that mode, and we're so happy to report that our success with this has been outstanding. As we saw at Xfc 43 in November, we saw at our inaugural Young Guns event on March 27th, and what the world, again, is going to see on May 28th with Xfc 44. From Young Guns, this is a development league. We are the only combat sports, the only MMA organization in the world that really has an ecosystem. We find them when they're young. We develop them properly. And by developing them properly, that doesn't just include putting them on a great platform for the world to discover them, but we also make sure that they're not making mistakes, taking fights that may be out of weight class, taking fights that are short notice. We want to develop these kids because they are the future of MMA. They are the future of the XFC. The next level would be the Xfc Tournament. And quite honestly, the Xfc Tournament is what put XFC on a global stage when we landed in Brazil. The Xfc Tournament is the most vicious tournament in all of sports in the world. We find fighters, they're hungry. The fighters that if you follow MMA, you had a chance to watch other promotions possibly. There are so many fighters that we developed through the Xfc Tournament that didn't even make it through the tournament, yet they're stars today. So our system is proven to work with the tryouts, the Young Guns, the tournament. It's iron sharpens iron, and that's what we're developing with the XFC. The final phase is the Xfc Super Fight Series. The Xfc Super Fight Series right now consists of free agents. We're not just looking for any fighter that we can put in the cage, see how it goes. We're looking for specific fighters, and we're looking to put on the most entertaining, exciting, violent, athletic display of combat sports that any fan could ever wish for or hope to see. And so far, it's been proven through the events that we just laid out with the relaunch of XFC in November. We're very excited about that. So that's our grassroots strategy. That's our business model. Let's move into the presentation. So a couple things to know about XFC. XFC is the only publicly traded mixed martial arts promotion. And what's key with that is it allows the fans to really not just interact, but be a part of this organization. The investment side doesn't follow just investors like yourselves who are out there checking out XFC right now. It involves our fighters because our fighters earn an opportunity to become a part of the XFC, to become owners in the XFC. And when they become owners in the XFC, we expect them to fight like they own the XFC. And that has just been such a great result for this organization through time, and it's really worked out well moving forward. It just creates the combat sports world access to our athletes in a whole different way than anyone else. As far as headlining bouts, blended with our other XFC tournaments and Young Guns series, the most exciting and hungriest young athletes are showing up inside the cage. And that's exactly when the door closes to the hexagon. Our fighters know what to expect. It's what we expect as an organization. It's what our fans expect, our broadcast partners, our sponsors. That's what they expect as soon as these fighters get inside this cage. They're not playing it safe. It's an absolute battle right from the very start. And that is what creates high entertainment in combat sports. We talked a little bit about the ecosystem within XFC. So, from Young Guns through the tournament, through the super fights, this is something that we build. So as we've relaunched XFC, our Young Guns are so important to us because those are the super fights of tomorrow. We expect in the next 2 to 3 years that this roster is going to be the most vicious, most watched, most anticipated roster in combat sports, period, because of their performance inside the cage. And with our fighters entering the cage from Young Guns tournament through the super fights, we expect again in 3 years, that's what we're going to have. It's not going to be looking for free agents anymore. It's going to be developing our athletes through our own ecosystem. And that's what's really going to separate the XFC from everyone else. XFC, we're a power player in the world of combat sports. XFC, when we launched in Sao Paulo, Brazil, it was a hard launch. We went right after it, and we rose to top 3 organization in the world, period. XFC created the most exciting fights. That's what the fans want to see. That's what attracts the broadcasters. And to get back to the Fox broadcasting, hey, they're looking for that athleticism, that violence, that entertainment for their fan base as well. And that's what we provide. So when we were at our peak in Brazil, 2016, just to give everyone an idea of our global presence, we had 185 exclusively signed fighters from 35 countries worldwide. That was the most diverse roster in the world at the time. We can't talk about what's going on with XFC without talking about the leadership team. And, I'm just proud to say I've been with XFC for 10 years now, and I've been proud to lead this, the MMA side, the team. We've got just the highest level executives working with XFC right now. But let's start with our CEO, Mr. Steve Smith. Steve had a vision with XFC when we talked about a year and a half ago for the relaunch to take it public and really to develop a global presence that becomes something that we're not just proud of, but it just becomes a powerhouse in the sports world, not just combat sports, not just MMA, but in the sports world in general. Steve's background has been so helpful building this business, formerly as a high-level executive with the WWE, with Discovery Networks, just the experience he's had with entertainment. And we're just so pleased to have Steve leading the XFC from the CEO level. Eduardo Duarte, our matchmaker. Eduardo's been with us for as long as I've been with XFC. He's our matchmaker. He's a 4th degree black belt on jiu-jitsu from Novo Union. In my opinion, and the opinion of many in this industry, he is the finest matchmaker there is. You can't have exciting fights unless the matches are paired properly, and that's exactly what Eduardo does. Just hours and hours looking through film, looking at applications, keeping in mind that since we've relaunched XFC, we have thousands of fighters, managers, coaches reaching out to us basically on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, trying to get into the XFC. And we are very specific what we're looking for. We're very particular about the fighters that we will consider and we will sign because we want entertainment. It's all about the firework inside the cage. Eduardo manages that. We don't want someone laying on someone like a wet blanket and giving us complete boredom through 3 rounds of what's supposed to be exciting fighting. So we've managed that quite well. Very excited to have Eduardo Duarte as our matchmaker. Jose Luis Sanchez. His picture's not on here, but again, Jose's been with me since we started about a decade ago, and Jose's in charge of distribution and content. So when you take a look at our broadcast partners over the years, we started with Access Television when we were a regional event. When the promotion first started in 2006, we grew through Brazil on Open TV with Hedgie TV, Fox Network down there, ESPN down there. And that's all been Jose working behind the scenes, making sure that we're connected with the right networks, making the right decisions. As I mentioned earlier, you can count on one hand the combat sports companies that have contracts with worthwhile broadcast partners. And I'm proud to say with XFC, we have reached the top. With the Fox family, we're so excited. And it doesn't just stop with the Fox family. XFC's reach in XFC 43 was 540 million. That included not just the USA, Brazil, Mexico, Central America, Latin America, pockets of Africa, France, Germany, the Ukraine, Vietnam, just to name a few. More are being added every day. And we're also at the table right now with the UK and many countries in Eastern Europe. So very proud of the work that Jose's done. The last thing I will say about what is the value of an organization like this, it's not just the live events that we put on, it's all about content. Everyone talks and understands content is king. Right now, we're over 300 hours of exclusive contract, wholly owned by the XFC. Our broadcasters do not have anything but license rights to anything that we produce. What's really nice about content, that's the gift that keeps giving, okay? If you were looking at a vertical stream, the content is what produces for years and years and years to come and grows in value as we continue our live events and creating this exclusive content, ranging from our live fights all the way through X-Girl contest, behind the scenes, and many, many ideas that are floating through our CEO's head that we're going to be exciting to announce very soon. We talked a little bit about what the XFC business model is, and just to give you an idea, a quick recap, founded again in 2006. Regional event, made our way up the Eastern Seaboard. In 2011, 2012, we decided to take it global, and where else? Sao Paulo, Brazil, the birthplace of MMA. When we landed in Brazil, I'll tell you what, it was absolute chaos, but we got it done. We quickly established ourselves as the #2 in all of Latin America for combat sports and considered top 3 worldwide. So very, very proud of our accomplishments there. Of course, when you take a look at the history of Brazil, there's always been issues, a lot of it financial. We had to make decisions in 2016 based on World Cup, based on the Olympics. Brazil just was not a desirable location to consider moving forward with our business model. That's when we stepped to the side, and that's when we got into the conversations with Steve Smith and his group and decided to relaunch XFC as a US-based company, starting with events in the US. We will be back in Latin America. We will be in Europe, and those announcements will be coming over time once we get a few more of these events under our belt. And we're very excited to get moving outside the US as well. Credibility, we can talk about, hey, we were top 3, we were top 2 in Latin America, but really the proof is in the results that we got out of being there. And, our fan base and, the broadcast numbers that we saw, people were watching XFC, people were passionate about XFC. But most importantly, we are a fighter-first organization, and it's all about really finding, discovering this next generation of champions, this next group of fighters who are going to move not just themselves, but move the XFC brand, continuing forward, next level. And that's what we've been able to do. So when we talk about our credibility, so many fighters that have come through the hexagon have found great success outside the hexagon as well. Many of them were looking forward to re-sign with the XFC and show that final and polished product that they bring inside the hexagon. An example of a great signing, when we talk about all the managers, coaches, fighters reaching out, hey, everyone wants to be with the XFC. They see our broadcast partner, the opportunity to be on a platform like Fox Sports and many other broadcasters worldwide. One of the best examples, Jessica Aguilar, a pioneer in MMA. Jessica, I call her the queen of MMA from the female side. One of the most popular fighters that ever existed. One of the most vicious athletes that I've ever seen compete. We got together. We were able to put together a contract. And I'm so proud to say that Jessica is with the XFC. She'll be performing soon again. She just recently performed at Xfc 43. But maybe more important than just her performance inside the cage It's her performance outside the hexagon that really makes its mark on a global basis. Her following in Latin America is unparalleled. No one can touch what Jessica has accomplished with a fan base in Latin America. And we're so excited to have her, not just as a fighter for XFC, but also as an ambassador. You can't talk about XFC, you can't talk about combat sports without making it sexy, athletic, and violent. But turning towards the sexy part, XFC girls, the X girls, always with so much respect for these ladies. They put in so much work. They're such a huge piece of what we're building with XFC. And you can see them broadcast on all of our live events, our live weigh-ins, our fighter meetings, and of course, our press conferences. So when we talk about broadcasting, part of the vision with XFC is not just making sure that we have our broadcast deals in play, but also creating a wide variance as far as opportunities for our broadcast or for our fans to watch. We know the ever-changing landscape with how people view their entertainment. With me at my age, I watch TV. But when you take a look at the millennials and the groups that are coming up, they want to choose how they want to watch. So with the launch of XFC TV, which is the streaming platform, especially for XFC, and soon to be announced more partners coming into that, that's just creating more opportunity. But what's also important about a pay-per-view opportunity, we've been contacted by In Demand, Comcast, and many others out there. We will be putting on our first pay-per-view event in July, and that announcement will be coming soon once all the details are ironed out. Excuse me. When we take a look at what does the XFC offer our broadcasters, you know, whether it's a 2-hour or 3-hour event, they want content. We create content. One of our next plays will be working with our broadcasters because they all want the same thing. They want an XFC exclusive show for their networks. That's coming soon. We're working out the details. That's going to be everything from fighters' cooking shows all the way through the backdoor content, fighter warm-ups, fighters' hometowns. They're going to see it all. And that's what the viewers are demanding, which means the broadcasters are demanding, which means that we are going to oblige and we are going to create the XFC show for many of our broadcasters worldwide. We talked about March 27th, the launch of Young Guns 1. You know, one of the keys that you have to consider, we're all dealing with a global pandemic right now. And, you know, it's been tough for so many businesses. We understand that, but we don't take that as an excuse. We're moving forward. Yes. Has it created challenges? Of course. Have we overcome the challenges? I'll tell you what, flawless execution on the part of our entire XFC staff, creating the opportunity to move forward with these live events while keeping our fighters, our staff, and our fans safe during this pandemic. So we're very excited about what we've accomplished so far. Safety precautions are always in place until this world moves forward and we can carry on and hopefully get back to what may be considered the new normal. Oklahoma City. The reason why this is touching up twice, it's very important for everyone that's watching to understand some of what we're navigating is not just, hey, let's go find a sexy, fun, vibrant city, because it's very difficult right now. So what we have to do when we're taking a look at where do we go, how do we decide where we place our events, we have to take a look at location, the venue, and the commission that sanctions the events. It's very important that this is a streamlined process for us. It's very important for us to have fans that are able to attend. So we're excited what we were able to put together in Oklahoma City. We were welcomed with open arms. And because of the success of that event, so many other states, so many other commissions have reached out, and we've decided that we're moving to Iowa for XFC 44 on May 28th. So we're looking forward to that. And again, so excited with the open arms and the willingness to do things the way that the XFC needs them to be done. We talk about the future of MMA, discovering that next generation, the proof in the pudding again. When we talk about fighters that are being discovered, the next rising star who's been getting quite a few accolades in the press nonstop, media requests nonstop, Austin Bashi. And Austin's not the only one. We have a lineup of fighters that we've introduced at Young Guns 1 that you're going to see again on May 28th at XFC 44. One of the quotes they put up from me is, again, we go back to XFC is a fighter-first organization, and that's true because we believe the greatest asset is our fighter roster as well as their performance inside the cage. So, when we say these kids are special, we're going to give them the platform and the support they need to become superstars. That's what it's all about, because as they become superstars, they continue to drive the XFC brand forward. And we're just so excited that our processes are working, and not just working, highly successful. When we talk about XFC on a global platform, I've already mentioned all of our broadcast partners on a worldwide basis. I'll tell you what, I'd really like to announce a few of our recent headlines that have just come out, that if you've been following DKMR, Xtreme Fighting Championships on the OTC, you've seen the headlines, and they've been plentiful, they've been exciting. Of course, we launched XFC TV, that's already kicked off on Roku. Very excited about that. It's the first MMA streaming platform, and we have many more signing up behind Roku that are getting announced very, very soon on a daily basis. We already talked about the Fox family with Fox Deportes and the importance of the Spanish-speaking FS2, the platform that is undeniably top tier, and of course FS1. The next thing I really like to talk about, getting away from global platform, is really key indicators of the success that we're experiencing, and what is just the proof of what we're building and how it's growing. So some of the key indicators, again, with the global pandemic not slowing us down and us moving forward, we have witness with the Fox deal that has been presented in our other broadcasters. A partner on XFC 43, GoTV, was just advertised just during the event. 300,000 downloads to their platform during our 2-hour event. Very excited about that, because that just shows you the potential and what we're looking for with XFC TV. We also have our presenting sponsor, Ticker. Ticker has been just a great partner of ours in so many ways, but the great news out of Ticker, they also handle Disney amongst other big heavyweights worldwide. XFC has supplanted Disney as the #1 on their platform. So we're just so excited about that. And this really is a tribute to how many eyes are on XFC. With 540 million plus at XFC 43, our expectations are that we're going to see 700 million plus heading into XFC 44 on May 28th. A couple of key financial verticals that everyone's going to be interested in, and a lot of them are very typical to combat sports, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of check a few boxes here. When we talk about broadcast deals, we look at licensing and live and replay events. So, that's a financial stream that's so important. And we're so excited, again, with the efforts of our distribution team that we have launched this financial vertical with the right partners, because it's really about having the right partners. And again, without going through the entire list, we're just so excited about the partners that we have on the broadcast side. Another vertical is sponsorship sales. Well, sponsorship sales is always driven by your broadcast partners. And with the Fox family coming in really late to Young Guns 1, but preparing everything for XFC 44, where the promotion is going to start on all of the Fox networks. The sponsors that are coming in now are all the heavy hitters. We're so excited. We have a lot of decisions to make, because they have to be a fit with XFC. And again, I mentioned Ticker, Xtreme Organics, just another great partner of ours that we're so excited. They've been with us from the beginning on this relaunch, and we're very pleased with our partnership there as well. Another financial vertical that has to be mentioned is when we talk about our strategy with location and venues, ticket sales. Ticket sales are huge, and it also creates the opportunity to put local fighters on the card that really stirs up the ticket sales end. But that, again, is part of our strategy, is we want to make sure that we're able to work in an environment where it is open, that we can perform in front of our fan base based on where we go. So ticket sales are very important, as is merchandise. When we talk about merchandise, hey, we have a cool name. Xtreme Fighting Championships, the Xfc. We have cool logos. If you've seen them, you'll be excited about them. But when that translates, that also makes it cool merchandise. And I'm proud to report that our merchandise sales are on fire. People love the logo. People love the look. People want to be involved with Xfc, whether it's on the investing side or strictly as a fan. We're excited that the merchandise has really taken off. And the last one, again, I mentioned content sales is the gift that keeps giving. That's something that our distribution team's doing a great job. And as we continue forward with live events, our distribution is going to continue to grow in pockets throughout the world. And I can't tell you how excited we are with moving forward with that. So in conclusion, I just want to add again, before we get to any questions, Xfc publicly traded on the OTC under the symbol DKMR. Anna, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Thank you so much. Great presentation. And offline, I want to talk to you about Oklahoma City. All right, let's get moving with a lot of questions, and any of these questions that you can't answer with our time allotment, then we will send to you. So tell us a little bit more about your plans in regarding to moving on to NASDAQ. Do you have any plans going on to NASDAQ?
You know, that what's great about me being on here right now is, Anna, that's not in my wheelhouse, okay? But I will tell you that that's being led by our CEO, Steve Smith, with so much experience, and his team that is operating on that right now. So we're excited about the movement there. And of course, the first is establishing what we have, and timing is going to be everything. I know that the plan is in place. I do know that they're moving forward with everything, but I can't speak to an exact time frame or the details and specifics on that.
Talk to us about your competitive advantages over other MMA companies.
Well, you know what, with the Xfc, as I explained even prior to the presentation and throughout, we are the only combat sports organization that has an ecosystem. Most companies on the lower side, they just put on events and hope they can sell tickets. On the higher side, and you know, I can mention it, the UFC, who really introduced the sport to mainstream, you know, they rely on so many other things, but they focus really on who's hot right now. They focus on what's this kid's record. What we do differently, we focus on the style. We focus on introducing that next generation of fighters through the Young Guns, making them earn it through the tournament, and then showing up on the Super Fight Series. And what we have with these fighters, anyone that watches Xfc fights will tell you that was the most exciting display of athleticism and violence they've ever seen in the sporting world.
So talk a little bit about when it comes to your next events and COVID and whatnot. So there's been a lot of change happening because the lockdowns are changing. So despite the COVID lockdown, Xfc was able to host a series of tryouts for new talent, very successful event in November. With a vaccine being distributed globally, what's your projection for events over the next 12 months, and how do you see things shifting?
Well, we're moving forward. And again, you know, the pandemic created a lot of challenges for most companies. But, you know, I guess I'm proudest to say that our team has really overcome this pandemic. We're moving forward. And again, it's really about the strategy. Where are we going to perform these events that enables us to put on Xfc like we want to do Xfc? As things loosen up over the 12 months, that just gives us an opportunity to continue to grow and really build this into something that we really have our vision and our eyes set on.
How many televised main events are you striving to put on every year, and how long do you think it'll take to reach your ultimate goal?
Well, our goal coming into 2021 was to have 6 of our numbered events, which are the pinnacle events, which ranges everything from, we have a tryout, we have some young guns that are being put on the card, and we also have that real exciting tournament and the super fights. So the goal going into 2021, especially with the pandemic raging as we were making these decisions, was we were going to have a minimum of 6 of those events. And, I'm really happy to say that we're still on schedule. We've tightened up the calendar a bit, but we're still committed to having 6 of the numbered events. We're going to have 6 minimum of the Young Guns events as well, which also means that we're going to have anywhere from 6 to 10 more tryouts throughout the year, 2021.
What is the difference between those 2 series, the Young Guns and your numbered events? And are there any other fight series that you guys were going to host?
Well, you know what? Again, we start out with our tryouts, and then our series really start with the Young Guns, the tournament, and the super fights. The difference is when you take a look at the Young Guns, what we're really looking for is that raw athletic talent. We discover a lot of them through our tryout system, but we also have such a network worldwide of presenting, of friends, allies presenting all these great fighters that hopefully deserve a shot. So, with our tryouts, we will be in Latin America, possibly looking at Mexico very soon. We'll also be in Europe. But from the Young Guns, what we're looking at is 25 or under is one of the key elements for a young gun, and less than 5 pro fights. So you may see some amateur fighters, you may see some fighters making their pro debut, or very limited pro fights at that point. But I'll tell you, before we put them on with Young Guns, we know that that's a future superstar that we're putting inside the hexagon.
When is your next event?
Next event is May 28th, coming up in less than a couple months. And it's going to be in Des Moines, Iowa. It's going to be at the Wells Fargo Arena, a beautiful arena right in the heart of Iowa.
So knowing that you guys are very popular, MMA is popular in South America, what are your plans to engage those fans? Do you have a plan on reaching fans across the globe? And are you upgrading your website? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so, it's really key that we continue our focus on building our Spanish-speaking, not just from the audience, but everything that we produce. And I will say, of course, having our experience in Brazil, Portuguese rather than Espanol, we haven't lost those fans. What's been great is our numbers continue to move forward on all our social media with Latin America. Those fans are very passionate about XFC because they saw XFC firsthand, and they feel like XFC is theirs almost, because we really established our global presence in Latin America. Very, very important for us moving forward.
What can you do to keep the stock value up? Are you making any money right now?
Well, you know what? As far as keeping the stock value up, it's, again, not my wheelhouse. So, I don't want to come across like, I'm going to tell everyone that's tuned in here how Myron's going to accomplish this. But, the key to it is, you have to get started. And that's what we did. We saw a bubble before we got started. As Steve Smith, our CEO, mentioned, hey, listen, there's going to be bubbles up and down with this. The key is consistency. And as we move forward, continue our tryouts, continue our events, this is a stock that's going to grow. And I'll tell you, every time we make an announcement, boom, you see a nice jump. So,
well, there we go. Thank you so much for this great presentation. We really look forward to all of your updates. Thanks for joining us, Myron.
Thanks so much for having us on today.
All right. Okay, everyone, we have a few more presenters for the day. Remember, we're going to transition to the next presenter, so there's going to be a black screen for just a brief moment. Stay with us. Also, if you're on your Apple device, remember to click the play button to launch the next live presentation. We'll be right back.